am going to talk today about the experience I had the very first time I went to the Philippines. There was lots of reasons why I went, but the main reason was I had nothing for me in England at all. I needed something to do completely new, a new experience. I've always wanted to go there since I was about 16, and have a look on the map of the world. You see all these different countries. You see the Philippines. You need Vietnam. Obviously, Vietnam grew up with that because of the Vietnam War in the 70s. So lots of things. So anyway, had a friend because I was living in Scotland at the time. I had a friend, Phil, and he'd done some NGO work in the Philippines, so he knew quite a few people, and he knew I was at a loose end. I wanted some sort of purpose, something to do, something completely different for my life so far. So I decided, well, he had a big map on his wall of all the countries he'd been to, and one of them was a pin that was in the Philippines. And I thought, oh, you've been to the Philippines? He said, yeah, it was really, really nice. You should go. I went, do you know what? I can't think of a reason why I shouldn't. So I spent a year saving up the money so I could go. And that's what I did. So I had somewhere to go when I got there. I've been writing to Sophia because Phil had met her there. And well, obviously lots of other people as well. And they invited me to come over and see what I thought of it. So that was in August time. I think it was August time that I left to go to the Philippines. And bear in mind, I've been lots of flights, but obviously they're European flights, right, stuff like that. The first time I've been on long haul flights is 2-stop flight. First stop is in Bahrain. I think it was Gulf Airline I flew on. I think it was Gulf a while ago now. So the first part of the flight, people sitting next to me, they're all Western people. There's a few Middle Eastern people and stuff like that, because obviously they go back to their country, they go back to the Middle East. So sat the plane, did that, and then got to Bahrain. So waiting in for the checkout, went through the checkout and everything else. Got on the plane, because bear in mind, I was able-bodied then. It wasn't in a wheelchair or anything like that, pre-accident. So I got on the plane, chap next, I always like to get a window seat, so I got a window seat. A chap sat down next to me, and he was from the Philippines, so, say hello mate, how you doing? Yeah, not so bad. He said, oh, where you go? So I said, he said, oh, you going to the Philippines? I said, yeah. They explained a little bit of a background and stuff like that. We just chat away and things like that about where he was from there and where I was going. Obviously, I'm going to Manila and staying there. I've got friends to go see and stuff like that. And most of the people on this flight now are Filipinos. And as you know, because this is my first experience, okay, and as you know, the closer you get to the Philippines, the more of a kind of party atmosphere is going on. They are been away from home a long time, they're overseas workers, they want to get home, and they're gonna party. Simple as that. So after a while, the stewardesses, they give up worrying about people standing in the aisle and stuff. Everybody's milling around, everyone has a fantastic time. So plane comes down to land, plane lands, everybody remain in the seats. Forget that, they ain't listening to any of that nonsense. They want to get off this plane, they want to see their loved ones. End of. So got the plane through immigration. I'm being met by Sophia, Raul, Joby, Ella, Farah. These are the people I'm going to be staying with. So I'm looking out for them, because as you know, when you come out, you stand and then you wait. There's a taxi rank, stuff like that, and then people can't come in, so you have to go outside. So I'm looking across, wait to see where they are. See, first impressions. I've just come from England, and obviously you've got temperatures here. It's a dry heat. You get a bit of humidity come August time, but not much, nothing at all like Manila. So I'm standing there, and I'm thinking, this is seriously hot, and this is seriously humid, so I'm sweating already. I'm thinking, whoa, this is going to be good. I'm up for anything though, I really am. I'm full of this, I'm telling you. So um, let's fit everybody else, and then we made our way to where we're going to stay, which was only temporary. It was only for like a week, and then we were going to find another place. We're all going to go and stay in this place, and that was in Cameron, which is near Curzon City. So I could. The thing is, I mean, even up to that point of me just going outside, everybody I met says hello. Hi, how are you? Where are you from? Everybody's like, I'm not used to that. I'm from this country. Nobody talks to strangers. You don't go up to people that you've not seen before and say hello, how are you, and have a chat and all that sort of stuff. You don't. So I'm kind of, well, this is nice. This is a refreshing change. So you have a chat with people and stuff like that. Then we got a taxi from there to the place we're going to stay. So you're seeing things completely new to you. One perception I would say of the Philippines to England, you might as well be on the moon compared. There's no comparison at all. There is none. None. It's zero. There is zero comparison. Everything is completely different. Everything you see in the streets themselves, the buildings, every single thing is completely different. So I'm kind of taking all this in. I'm like in awe of all this. I'm kind of thinking, gosh, this is just unbelievable. This is so cool. I'm loving this stuff. And everybody's so friendly and having a chat. And I'm like, I've been there. Like I've been there for months or something. It's just instant rapport with people. Instant. Absolutely fantastic. Stayed in the first place. It was only tiny. Got a little room and like a one bedroom bit, and everybody's, like Philippines, everybody just sleeps on the floor and stuff. I'm lucky I've got a little bed, and that's perfect for me. I'm happy. We stayed there, like I said, for about a week, and then we moved to a bungalow in a little cul-de-sac in Camerning. And first time there, and obviously you walk up to, it's about 50 yards, 100 yards, 50 yards. It's about a 50-yard walk up to this little, like, close. So there's houses all the way, like, in a square shape, the road coming up, houses each side, and then there's like a square shape. There's a tree in the middle, and there's a little store on the left-hand side. There's a store there. There's a little store in this bit here where people are selling bits and pieces and stuff like that. So everybody knows everybody because you spend most of your time sitting outside. Again, I'm not used to that. That doesn't happen in England. You don't sit outside your front door and have a chat with people. You don't. It's unheard of. So anyway, so I could not believe how welcoming everybody was. Like I said, I've not experienced this before, and I couldn't. It was just such a shock to be accepted by everybody, and everybody wants to have a chat. Telling about things in England, and that was, it's always Diana, and it's always about the royal family, because obviously you say where you're from, and it's like, well, they don't have no reference to where that is. Say London, they know where London is. If you say, right, I come from Cambridge or Hertfordshire, or you come from this place, you've got to kind of explain to them where it is in England. And the other thing I really enjoyed was the, and you guys know this one, the Panda Sail. It's in the morning. I used to walk down to the bottom of the road and then turn right, and then along there is a little baker's. So I used to go there every day, and you get to know people. So you go there and you have a chat. You end up spending half your day trying to get there and back, because you get there and then you've got to be there for a good hour having a chat. Have a beer, have a chat about stuff. How are you doing? Oh, I'm great, thanks. And then on the way back, you'll at least 10 times you'll stop and talk to people. Oh, hello you, where are you from? Americano, no, I'm from England. Oh, that's nice. And you have a chat, and everybody's English is good, and And I thought that was fantastic. So all I'm going to say is, if anybody is thinking of going to the Philippines, you should. It's one of the most wonderful experiences I've ever had in my life that I will never forget. I haven't forgot it since, and I've lived there. So, but no, absolutely fantastic. I was so lucky to have met people from a foreign country that are so welcoming. When you come here, I mean, I feel sorry for Filipinos, because if they don't know any Filipinos, they're going to go thinking, Christ, this bunch of a moody bunch, aren't they? Don't talk to each other or anything. What's the matter with them? Whereas there, everybody has a chat. It's like everybody knows everybody, even though they don't. I've been there for about 2 months. And in that time, bearing in mind, we've been to the mall, Curzon City, the park. Forgot the name of the park now. But anyway, been to the park, all those places. And in that time, I realised I hadn't seen one other Western person. And it was because I'm from England, and you can't miss me. I stand out like a sore thumb. But it did make you feel like you were like a celebrity or something. You had like a celebrity status. Now you imagine somebody coming here and they're from the Philippines. You're not going to look at him, want to talk to him all the time and say where you're from and blah blah blah, and then treat him as like somebody everybody wants to talk to. We're way too arrogant for that. That's not going to happen. But that's what it felt like. And the first time I did another Western person, and this chap was from Germany. I had a chat with him. I was glad he wasn't around where we were, because it was like, well, these are my people. You can bugger off. I know that sounds weird, but that was like, but no, getting back to the people, thank you guys. You saved my life. It meant that much to me. Going to the Philippines, meeting the people. We would go to lots of different places, and you would go in somewhere, and they straight away would get some food. If not, they give you some food. Loads things like that. You just don't get here. I remember we went to Pangasinan to Ella's parents, and absolutely fantastic. It really was. What a wonderful experience that was, meeting them. Because Ella's father, he could speak really good English, so I could sit with him for hours on end. He gave me a tour of all these different places, and just do the Second World War, what happened at all these things. So no, we stayed there for about 4 days. Absolutely wonderful. So the people were just so nice. Everybody you met. So yeah, it was. So thank you guys. You guys in the Philippines are the best, and that's a fact. All the other countries I've been to, never ever experienced anything like that. So thank you very much.